Hey everybody, it's Rybar Guitar here, coming to you from the Tuned In Studios right here in Nashville, Tennessee. We have Mr. Jake Bishop here with us once again, and he's got another Mojotone product that they were nice enough to send him for us to try out here in the studio. Now, all right, explain this thing to me like I don't know anything about this guitar amp, because I don't at all. So it's what is 18 watts?
Yeah, and like the Blackout Tweed, it's kind of their take on another famous circuit, you know,
of a Marshall.
Yeah, like the 18-watt Marshall that everyone likes, kind of the mini Marshalls, you know,
little low wattage. I think, and they're like little mini half stacks or whatever with the head, like they're small heads and small caps.
No, this is actually I think taken off that's the 20-watt PA circuit. I know what you're talking about, but it's close to that kind of thing where it's It's just the old EL84 circuit, but they swapped out the EL84s for the 6V6s. You get more headroom, but it's a take on that classic small, low wattage rock amp.
Yeah, because the old Marshalls, the circuits are kind of based on like what, Bassmans or something like that.
Originally, yeah, like the JTM45 is pretty much a straight Bassman.
So this Mojotone amp is kind of like a Marshall, but with added Fender American headroom.
Yeah, it seems to be that thing, and I've really enjoyed it.
And it has two different sides. So the side that you're plugged into now is like
it's the classic section you'd get on the old Marshall.
Yeah,
it's just tone and volume.
Okay.
And a lot of guys, like if you're me, I just run both of them all the way up, you know, because that's the cool part. That's
easy.
the fun part.
Yeah.
And then the other side is more akin to like a JCM 800 style EQ.
Okay, so
little more high end, a little more mid, a lot more gain.
And you can scoop if you wanna. So it just gives you the option.
It's just a way more versatile thing, you know, and it's usable. It's super usable. And with the 6V6s instead of EL84s, you get a lot more headroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell when you were playing that. I mean, that channel's pretty clean. It dirts up like in the way that you want it to when you're doing crunch stuff. And then the other side too, also like you can really crank it, and it's got that the balls of what those old Marshalls have, and then you can kind of roll back your volume, and you still have a little bit underneath to do the spanky bluesy stuff that you're doing on the Strat, man.
Yeah, and I mean, awesome. I think that's the way all the old guys used to do it, and I think that's kind of the tone that everyone chases, is that thing.
Yeah, I turned up, but they were turning up full stacks, and this gives you the ability to do 18 watts, which is, you know, a club-sized version of that. This Joker, people are still going to ask you to turn down, I promise you, because this amp is loud.
And for sure, for me, it's actually kind of a godsend, because for years I've been running a JTM 45.
Yeah,
you know, and those can get pretty up there in the frequencies in the head, and you know, just blowing your ears out. So it's like this is kind of, for me, gonna solve a lot of those issues, because it does have a master volume.
Yeah, which you don't normally get.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
And these things are great too. I swear, like, you know, most people want to just buy name brand stuff, but I think you're cutting out a large market. These things are hand wired, right?
All hand wired, all made in the USA.
I mean, for their price point, and so this is the head and cab version, but there's a combo version that's not much more expensive than the head.
And I think they all come with their BV30 speaker, which is like it's a British voiced speaker.
Dude, it sounds really good for the size. I'm telling, like, if I show up to a gig with a half stack or a full stack, so I'm gonna get laughed at. They're already gonna tell you to turn down before you plug in. I mean, this at least gives you something to start with.
Yeah. They look and they don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it'll be tame. And
it's cute.
Yeah.
You wait till we turn it up, man.
I love the aesthetics too. I mean, I'm simple as simple gets. So it's just so cool. And
yeah, the grill cloth looks great. The logo looks great. We're shining some lights on it earlier. It looks awesome.
It's awesome.
How are you running the EQ section in the one that actually has one?
I kind of set all Marshall style amps the same. And it's like the treble, since I'm using kind of a P90 single coil thing, the treble is roughly at about 7, and the mids are a lot more up there. I usually on most, if I'm turning up the amps, I'll put the mids pretty much all the way up. And the bass is probably on 1 or 2, depending on where the master's at. Because once you bump that master up, you're gonna get a lot more low end. And for a 112 cab, the low end's not not losing any low end.
That's the thing too, is when you're with all amp settings, it's hard. If you're able to really dial it, the EQ section is completely different than if you're not. There's no way you can just leave those EQ sections and turn the amp down and it still feel the same. Because like you're saying, you're getting bass and mids from the master volume and stuff that
and on old Marshalls, essentially on an old style circuit like that, it's essentially the EQs don't really work. They're cut circuits. The only one that really works on ones is like the presence knob. So like, you're really just, this is way more interactive and way more versatile, and it works better. You know, and it's not going to cause you any headaches.
Right. I mean, again, you're running no pedals. We just slapped a 57 on it. Plugged it in. You only had it for a couple days. I mean, it's not like it took us an hour to dial this thing in. It's literally plug and play. Yeah,
and I think it's instantly usable.
Yeah, it's priced below a boutique amp, but sounds like better than a lot of the
I
ones
think
that
so too. You know, I mean, I'm very much a Detroit blue collar, working class guy, and this is like all of the high end tone with something that I feel I could take out and work with all the time.
When you first started talking about the Mojotone stuff, I was like, I think I've heard the name maybe for the pickups. I didn't even realize they did amp kits and stuff like that. And I mean, I've only really heard what you've brought over here, and everything's been great.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
Hats off to you guys.
And Mojotone pickups in here too. So it's
that's right. And those are and they make noiseless options and stuff, dude. I mean, and those are not the noiseless ones, but they're still not very noisy.
No, and you get all the P90 grunt you want.
That's awesome. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming by and showing me this amp. This is great.
I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, come back anytime, and Mojotone, keep sending us stuff to use, because you guys are doing a great job. If you guys have any questions or anything about what we did with this amp today, just hit us up on go to tunedenlive.com/contact. Heck yeah. And check out Jake's band King Locomotive. You can check out his show on the Tuned In Live YouTube page. We have your full show.
That was a blast, man.
Yeah, come back again.
That was a blast.
We'll do another one. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Tuned In, no matter where you're tuning in from, because when you're here, you're with the band. See y'all later.